They can do what they like. um, uh, if a community wants to remove Easter from the egg hunt, I'm okay with it because there were no eggs when Jesus rose again. If people were trying to take Jesus out of Easter, then I might have a bigger problem with that. But somebody wants to have an egg hunt without using the word Easter, holiday egg, or I don't know, springtime egg, or whatever other term they want to use, I'm okay with that. If it brings a group of people together, and it brings a group of people together in a loving way, in a way that surprises them, in a way that that bonds them somehow, I'm fine with that. If it's about love, I'm good. I think it's sad when we feel like we have to take those words out because it might, it might upset somebody, or those words have acted as a barrier, a boundary. But in all fairness, the fact that the word Easter, or the name Easter, the fact that the term Easter might be a barrier that keeps people away. In another way, it's very similar to some of the things that I've said in the past. That tells us something about how it's been weaponized. It tells us something about how the church has treated others. It tells us something about how the church is perceived, and it should ask us, it should demand of us to explore, why is it that people think this way about us? Why is it that people perceive this thing about us? Why is it that they believe this notion about us? Why is it that how is it that the church has caused issue in enough people's lives that adding the word, the term, the name Easter to an event's title would mean that people are going to stay away? Again, we're not innocent, right? This isn't a form of persecution. This isn't a form of persecution where people are like, oh, we're just going to pick on Christians because they're so nice and they're so awesome. I don't know who they think they are, being kind and gentle and loving all the time. We need to knock them down a peg. Chances are it has very little to do with how wonderful we are, but it may have a lot to do with how the faith has been misused, and how our faith, how our religion, how our liturgies, how our worship has been used to cause a lot of people a lot of harm. How it's been used to damage others. How it has come to be so irrelevant in people's lives that we've focused on issues, we've focused on missions, we've focused on moralities and values in the wrong way, for the wrong reasons, that the entirety of the church, the entirety of the faith, no longer has a meaning to people. Or again, that meaning is a negative one. It's the same as, we want to take Christmas out of you. You can't make us. How do they put it? It would be the same as at Christmas time, when we're not allowed to. It's war on Christmas. We're not allowed to say Christmas. You can say Merry Christmas. You can say Merry Christmas, but the idea that it might bother somebody, it tells us about them. It tells us that they've been hurt. And it should open up a pathway for us to explore how we hurt them. Anyway, that's just a thought on that particular question. The answer at the end of the day is it makes me sad. It makes me sad, but not because people are ashamed of the word, but because we've obviously lost the plot when our terms actually keep people from wanting to be around us, when our terms actually act as a barrier that keep people out, that make people want to move in a different direction. Amen.